Welcome everyone out to Van Sessions at the Monarch. This is Evan Michael.
All right, this one's called Swaying Like the Meadow. Swaying like the meadow, high up on the hill. Swimming in the whiskey, Lord, I've it at my fill. Twist me like the willow, she lifts me like the wind. Now she's gone, 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 never coming back again. Swaying like the meadow, dancing in the breeze. Higher than the whippoorwill, I'm floating above trees. Whiskey's just a flavor, heartache's my disease. So I'm walking to the counter just to load one more train. Swaying like the meadow, high up on the hill. Swimming in the whiskey, Lord, I'll hit have my fill. Twist me like the willow, she lifts me like the wind. Now she's gone, 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 never coming back again. I can't wash these dreams away, it seems your memories here to stay. Swimming in those highs and now I'm drowning in a haze. Stood up bed of lies and now I'm lying here awake. And I'm praying that before I rise, your memory fades away. Swaying like the meadow, high up on the hill. Swimming in the whiskey, Lord, I'll hit at my fill. Twist me like the willow, she lifts me like the wind. Now she's gone, 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 never coming back again. Sweet.
Evan Michael on Van Sessions. Welcome everyone out to this live podcast recording here at the Monarch Building, home to artisans and creatives in the heart of Ogden's Nine Rails Arts District. I'm R. Brandon Long alongside Todd Obendorfer. We have Shane Osgathorpe in the van with us as well. We're the Banning Collective, and this is Van Sessions. I wanted to give a huge shout out to a presenting sponsor, Utah Brewing, official beer of Van Sessions. Remember, when you drink a Utah beer, you're supporting local musicians and this program. Also, thanks to our granting sponsor, Ogden City Arts. Evan, do you have can you turn your guitar up, the pickup in there? Can you turn it up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, turn that off and I'll turn things down. That might work better. Okay, so Evan, we saw you at OFOAM. How was that? You were you a tweener there?
Dude, that was a blast, yeah. That was kind of like my big show for the summer. That was like a big opportunity for me. I haven't played a lot of festivals, or any festivals. That was kind of the first one. I was lucky enough to have a couple of the Pickpockets members, as you may recall, join me out there. Super fun.
Yeah.
I actually have those same fellas that joined me on stage just help me record an album. So I have my first album coming out here pretty soon, specifically featuring those three members of the Pickpockets. Got a couple extra local musicians that came and joined in, and it's coming out pretty soon. So I'm very excited for that.
You're from Salt Lake?
I am living in Salt Lake at the moment. I'm originally from Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee, Florida. How has Salt Lake helped shape music, or are you looking at like your background in Tallahassee to help shape your music?
Dude, that's a good question. So I moved out here, and I'm actually somewhat new to writing music. I wrote my first song in 2020, and I moved out to Salt Lake, actually American Fork,
about early 2020. Actually, I'm lying, mid 2020. And when I first got out here, I was so inspired by the landscape, so inspired by living here that I immediately began running about the beauty of Tallahassee, Florida.
Huh. Okay, so, yeah, that works. What was the first song called?
So the song I just played was called "Swaying Like the Meadow," and that's actually coming out as my next single here pretty soon.
So you got to hear it here first.
Here first.
Yeah, this is great.
It's a big deal.
What's the next song you want to play for us?
Yeah, so as mentioned, album's coming out soon. Pretty stoked. The way I recorded this album is very, very simple. Just had a couple of those. So I had a mandolin player, Dante, from the Pickpockets. I had the fiddle player, Alec, and then the bass player, Aiden. And I sent them the songs. They showed up. We just kind of cut them live. We did like 4 or 5 takes of each song. And so like everything you hear on the album is really just like straight from the studio, just us kind of jamming on these songs. And so I'm actually getting married in 2 weeks.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, big deal.
And it's a huge deal. And you mentioned...
Are you playing at your own wedding?
Dude, my mom asked me if I wanted to dance to one of my songs. I was like, no, absolutely not. But no, I started writing songs recently. When I moved to Utah, they just started flowing out. And my ex-girlfriend, now fiance, she was like, you've been writing a lot of songs. You're going to write anything else you want to write about? Anything about us, maybe?
Yeah.
So I wrote my first love song somewhat recently, and it's called Desert Dandelion. That's what I'll play next.
Awesome, love it.
Sweet. Mind if I have a seat, sweet dawn? I saw you cross the room. Usually wait to drink my courage, make up some excuse. Fiend just started walking. I ain't got too much to say, no. I was looking for a chance to make you laugh, or put a smile on that face. Just rode in from Bangor. I've been living from a pack, running low on money. I ain't got too much to pack, but I got my mama's rights, so baby, let's go take a spin. No, we can leave this little town and get to drifting like the wind. Got me wrapped around her fingers. She's all tangled in my dream. No, she's not a desert dandelion. She's a dusty drifter's queen. From the hills of Carolina to the Rocky Mountain peaks. Oh, she's my Amarillo sunshine, my shade beneath the tree. I'm just her. She hopped in, we headed down no Canopy Road. Kept on heading south until we ran into the coast. We hit Apalachicola. She said, boy, I hardly know you, but by the time we got to know her, we was making wedding plans. And she got me wrapped around her finger. All tangled in my dream. Knows she mine. There's a dandelion. She's a dusty drifter's queen. From the hills of Carolina to the Rocky Mountain peaks. Oh, she's my Amarillo sunshine, my shade beneath the tree. I'm just her fool. I'm just her fool. I'm just her fool. I'm just her fool. you.
Nice work. Evan Michael on Van Sessions. I noticed on Spotify one of the songs that's trending for you is the one that you did a duet with Michelle Moonshine.
Heck yeah.
Which is awesome. Speaking of local musicians, I got Shane here. Shane?
Yes, very, very stoked to have her join me on that one. Yeah, Tumbleweed. That was one of the, yeah.
Well, first thing I notice is that, like me, you're one of those guys who doesn't tap his feet in any way related to the song that you're playing. And I applaud that. That means that the music is playing in you and not the other way around. That's pretty cool. Who produced your new record that's about to come out? What studio did you guys go to?
Yeah, so it's produced by this freaking idiot named Evan Michael who doesn't have any idea what he's doing.
Self-produced.
Self-produced.
Where'd you record it?
So I'm lucky enough to I've recorded all my songs at Orchard Studios in North Salt Lake with Daniel Young. Come on.
Yeah, Daniel Young.
Dude, Dan, I will say, Dan does step in when I'm getting a little too crazy. Like, there's definitely been some moments in the studio where Dan's like, don't do that, dude.
It always helps to listen to Dan. Did you coax Dan into playing any instruments on your record at all?
Oh, of course. Come on.
What did he play?
That's the best drummer in Salt Lake, brother. Yeah, so I got Dan on a couple songs, Slapping the Skins, and I mean, he's the unwritten, uncredited producer on a lot of these songs. But no, just I really wanted to emphasize like just the, I don't know if you want to call it magic, but just getting everybody in the same room, just jamming on some songs. Like I felt like you go to the studio for the first time and it's just really hard to capture that like natural sound. And so I was really chasing that with a couple of these Pickpockets guys, and I'm really, really stoked on what we came up with.
No, congratulations on finding the Pickpockets. That tells me that you're a well-connected musician, that you hang out with the right people. You got good friends. Keep it up. Having Dan Young / Dan Beener produce your record or record or engineer it or whatever he did, congrats on that.
Thank you.
Dude, amazing stuff. Your second song sounded a lot more like Utah, and your first song sounded more like Tallahassee. So why don't you take us into the third song and tell us what you got up?
Sweet. Yeah, so... well, there's a little bit of both worlds in that last song. What am I doing this capo? That last song, one thing I really like about my hometown, Tallahassee, Florida, is we're like just completely surrounded by some of the coolest named towns. So it's like very much influenced by like the Indian heritage, the native heritage of the area. And so I'm from Tallahassee, but like the surrounding towns, we have Weewahitchka, we have Apalachicola, Wakulla, which this next song's about, Wassissa, Sopchoppy. And so I've always liked Apalachicola. I've always liked that town in general, and it's a cool Gulf oyster town in Florida. And I was like, that just has to go in a song. So I threw that in my Desert Dandelion, that last song I played. But then on this next song, I was like, I'm just really going to lean into that Florida imagery and those cool names. And so this next one's about one of my favorite like local watering holes called Wakulla Springs. And so, yeah, I just kind of threw as much Florida imagery as I could in this song. So, yeah, I'll play it.
She's Mount Gold until I see Queen. Raised in the waters of Wassissa Springs. Late in the evening when the crickets sing, be rolling around beneath the big oak tree. We'll be rolling around beneath the big oak tree. Down by the water with the sun in her hair, middle of the summer, smell salt in the air. Ain't gotta worry, just free as can be. She's swaying like the moss up in a cypress tree. Yeah. Slow, but the time goes fast. You can't stand in the way, it'll flow right past. So I'm taking my chance, trying to make you believe. No, it ain't in your blood, but your royalty. She's my own little woman till I see a queen. Raised in the wildest of a sister spring. Late in the evening when the crickets sing, we'll be rolling around beneath a big oak tree. Yeah. We'll be rolling around beneath a big oak tree. That old sun's sinking down, but I'm coming up. I got a bottle of wine, just let me fill your cup. Ain't in a hurry, put away those keys. I keep a blanket rolled up for nights like these. She's my own good woman till I see a queen. Raised in the wildest of a sister spring. Late in the evening when the crickets sing, we'll be rolling around beneath a big oak tree. She's my own good woman like you never seen. Her mama came down from New Orleans. Late in the evening when the crickets sing, we'll be rolling around beneath a big oak tree. Yeah. We'll be rolling around beneath a big oak tree. Yeah. We'll be rolling around beneath it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Evan Michael, Van Sessions. Evan, I'm glad you're here because I didn't know if you were going to make it once you went to this place called Butch's Bar. So, you want to tell the story or?
Oh, I'd be honored.
Fearing for your life, yes.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up, sir. So yeah, I like I mentioned, I'm somewhat new to the music scene, and I moved out here to Salt Lake in 2020. And in 2022, I moved out to Casper, Wyoming for the summer with my now almost wife. And that summer, I was like, I'm just going to book every freaking gig I can. I'm going to send out a bunch of emails. I'll message people on Facebook. I don't care. I'm just going to book whatever I can. And it was like by far like my most prolific like touring I've done. Like I had so many gigs lined up, a lot in like Denver, a lot in Wyoming. And one of those gigs that was kind of sight unseen was this bar called Butch's Bar on the eastern side of Casper, Wyoming. And I show up to this place, and like before I go, I'm like Googling the bar, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is not safe. Like I'm in danger. Like all these like reviews are like, don't go here. Like you're gonna get stabbed. Go here if you want to get stabbed. And so I show up. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a man. I show up, and I walk in with my guitar, and I go up to the bartender, and like immediately, like there's a million motorcycles outside. And like it just looks a little beat down. I'm like, this is not going to go well. I regret this. And I go in, and I don't see a stage. So I go up to the bartender. I'm like, hey, Evan, where should I set up to like play music tonight? He was very unprepared for me, obviously. And he's like, oh shit, you can ask those bikers over there to move over.
Oh,
so he like points to this like crowd
Ask
of like
bikers to move over.
Points to like the toughest group of bikers I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, are you? All right. So I go over to these guys, carry my guitar, and I'm like, hey, the bartender said I'm supposed to set up here. Like, can I play guitar right here? And they're like, you better be freaking good. Like, this better not suck. And I'm just like, this is like, I'm in danger. Like, this is not good. And so the song Butch's Bar is about that. And, I ended up, I don't want to spoil it, but I guess I'll spoil it. Like,
well, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. So these
so
guys.
We know the end of the story.
Well, so these guys just ended up being like the coolest dudes, and I totally bonded with them. They bought me beer. They loved my originals, and I got invited to like play at Butch's again. And then I also got invited to play at. I made two good friends, Turtle and Booger, and
Of course.
Turtle Turtle invited me to come play at his motorcycle shop that he was opening. So, Turtle, if you're watching this, you're the man. Thank you for
Turtle's
the
motorcycle
opportunity.
shop.
Dude,
Shout out.
Turtle's
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a song. I haven't shared it with these guys. My mom's like, dude, send it. You got to send it to Butch. You got to send it to Butch's bar. I'm like, I think they're going to be offended, but so
So
about
this
that.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
We get to hear it. I'm glad
All
you're
right.
here.
So thank you for giving me that intro. So yeah, it's Butch's Bar. It's my first single off the new album. Just a dried up oil town, not a goddamn thing around. Out here in the sand and sage, but an old bar off the interstate. I walked in with my old guitar, plugged in and put out a jar. Seen my share of dives, but I've never feared for my life. Well, it's the last bar for 100 miles, numbers on the bathroom tile. It's a grand affair. 6'5" with a go-to smile, big scar on his one good eye, but it don't you stare. Boy, it'll eat you up alive if you ain't singing every line like it's just tearing at your soul. If you think it's just a dive, well, you're probably thinking... Can I start over? Fuck. I missed the chords. How does it go? That's how it goes. Let's do it one more time. Anyways, here's Butch's Bar. Thank
Butch
you.
is listening, just
Thank
so you
you.
know.
Butch, this is for you, brother. Tried up old town, not a goddamn thing around. Out here in the sand and sage, but an old bar off the interstate. I walked in with my old guitar, plugged in and put out a jar. Seen my share of dives, but I've never feared for my life. Well, it's the last bar for 100 miles, numbers on the bathroom tile. It's a grand affair. 6'5" with a go-to smile, big scar on his one good eye, but it don't you stare. Boy, it'll eat you up alive if you ain't singing every line like it's just tearing at your soul. If you think it's just a dive, well, you're probably thinking right, but some folks call this home. No, there ain't much the wind blows in that Butch's down the road. Big fellas wearing biker vests, rolling weed and cigarettes, throwing dice and shooting pool. I'm up here trying to keep it cool. Check, 1, 2, 3. Now every eye's on me. Cut the music, cue lights. Think I'm singing for my life. Well, it's the last bar for 100 miles, numbers on the bathroom tile. It's a grand affair. 6'5" with a go-to smile, big scar on his one good eye, but it don't you stare. Boy, it'll eat you up alive if you ain't singing every line like it's just tearing at your soul. If you think it's just a dive, well, you're probably thinking right, but some folks call this home. No, there ain't much the wind blows in that Butch's down the road.
between Rock Springs and Laramie. Ain't much the wind blows in, but cold rain and broken men. And we've seen the kind like you before. Oh, you grab your chick and you're out the door. Oh, we've seen the kind like you before. Won't you stick around and sing one more? Well, it's the last bar for 100 miles. Numbers on the bathroom tile. It's a grand affair. 6'5" with a gold-tooth smile. Big scar on his one good eye, but it don't you stare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it.
Sounds like a guy who's played my own.
Great job, Evan.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for being here during this live recording of Van Sessions. You can find our Van Sessions podcast by simply searching Van Sessions Podcast on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Thanks again to our host, the Monarch Building, and to Utah, the official beer of Van Sessions, along with our granting sponsor, Ogden City Arts. We'll see you on the next Van Sessions.